All right. Well, welcome. Or should I say welcome?
Do the podcast.
Hello.
Yes.
Well, we're both, Shannon and I are super excited to talk about one of our more recent projects that we worked on together, kind of simultaneously.
Yep.
Audens Golf Pros. They were a golf brand that came to us over 6 months ago.
Yeah. The minute.
And they have like a gym in Florida that they were trying to brand and like create this amazing performance gym where they could bring both professional golfers and casual golfers into one spot to get the best, the highest quality of golf training. And so when they were approaching us in the brand phase, they had nothing. They had no name, they had no logo, no direction, both verbally and visually. And so the discovery phase was like extra important. And so I took the liberty and lead and like really fine tuning what they were looking for, why it is, what was their motivators, why they were doing what they were doing, and really defining all those foundational brand elements so that we could much easier first find a brand name and then build a logo off of that. And so that was kind of like the main focal point that we set on at the beginning of the project. And as it evolved, holy cow, it was super fun to work with these guys. Both Nick and Franny were phenomenal to work with. Even amongst like traveling across the world, Nick was like all over the place, training and coaching golf. And so even with that crazy schedule, they still took the time to work with us and collaborate and come up with an amazing product.
Yeah, it was awesome. And what you did, I feel like, was super cool because, like you said, like they came to us with nothing, and so like we were able to really work with them from scratch and build something super cool. Me with the website and you with the branding. What were some of the things for the branding you did?
So main things was first defining a name, and then from that creating like this really neat and unique logo mark that almost looked like a crown and a fortress. Was kind of like the idea of showing like the regalness of, or the high quality of the training, but also like the fortitude and the grit of like sportsmanship and athleticism that Nick like embodies through and through. And so then we wanted to kind of take that same theme through the rest of the brand, creating some really iconic icons and custom icons for them off of that logo mark, and then having some really strong colors of like an orange, white, black color palette with some other really neat imagery of black and white imagery, and then also really
the imagery was super cool. So what happens is when we finish up a brand phase and head off to the build team, to the builders, we get to see your whole pitch deck, the whole brand guides you build out, and it was overlay on the screen for the audience. It was awesome because there was this super cool like dark contrast where you'd have like these really professional athletes, like just them, like a whole dark background to really pull into the fact that we're building professional athletes. That's our job. That's our focus. And you caught that brand, I feel like, perfectly.
Yeah, there was a cool kind of like subconscious theme in the imagery specifically where we wanted to illustrate how like this idea of like building yourself up when no one is watching. But then on the flip side, seeing the phenomenal athleticism in the spotlight of like being out on the golf course and just performing in front of an audience. And so we showed that in the imagery by having like really dark, high contrast imagery with just the athlete, but then all of the imagery of golf courses or people actually golfing was, or around like kind of the group, was much more saturated, much brighter, cleaner, more just an pronounced imagery, showing that kind of like very subtle subconscious difference between like training where no one else sees versus performance where everyone does see. So.
Yeah, what was the not the logo, the motto that we settled on?
Like the tagline?
Yeah, the tagline. I think it was like built in the dark, wasn't it that one?
Yeah, built in the dark.
Built in the dark. That is so cool to be like, we build you where no one's watching, so when everyone's watching, you look your best. That's like what you captured with like this imagery. Yeah, it was huge.
More on the website though. Tell them like what your thought process is and like kind of more the technical terms it's structured because they kind of had a complicated.
It did. It was a lot at first. I mean, props to you again. I mean, when it came to me, I mean, all of that was figured out. So my job was to then just build it onto a website. The biggest hiccup, and I feel like we run this a lot with like new business entrepreneurial space, is they wanted to run fast. And they're like, let's build out this and this thing and this thing and this thing. And, you know, it was a massive project. There was so much they wanted to do. But when it came to the question, how are you going to maintain this? Like, who's going to be running these processes? Who's going to be there to update this as you grow?
What's the practicality?
And they didn't have an answer to that. It was like, oh, we don't have that in place. We don't have that. And so it's really cool where I was able to provide some strategy and say, hey, this is an iterative process. Like, we're going to grow with you. Your design, your website, it's going to grow as you get this first gym in place, as you get members. Let's not build for the end goal. Let's build along the way, right? So we ended up going with like kind of like a one-page flow design that threw in all your cool attributes and animations. Was very easy for the user to see. Okay, this is where I'm at. This is how I get involved. This is all I need right now, which I think is going to do a whole lot more in the long run, and then they can grow in the right direction. Cool. Very cool stuff. It was awesome. Nick and Fran were great, and would love to work with them again.
Yeah.
And
come back with another gym.
multiple gyms.
Yeah.
Yeah, working with Audens was awesome. It's something that both Josh and I absolutely love to do, and something we do every day, all day. I feel like 24/7. We don't take breaks on Saturday or Sunday.
No.
We keep going. And so,
At least my mind does.
Yeah, always
Or mine do. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you guys are looking for, you know, a similar experience, getting a lot of strategy within, you know, your web design or even your branding or even your ongoing marketing services, we offer those here at Big Red Jelly. You can find us at bigredjelly.com. I'm sure somewhere around here there's a link you can click on, and we'd love to talk to you.
Here, just click on the link.
Yeah, down there.
That's all. Love you.